An old man in a village was always smiling, no matter what happened. People often wondered how he remained so happy in every situation. One day, a young traveler asked him the secret of his happiness. The old man chuckled and said, "Every morning, I wake up and make a choice. I choose to be happy no matter what the day brings." The traveler was surprised and asked if it was really that simple. The old man nodded and said, "Happiness isn't found in wealth or circumstances. It's found in our own hearts and the choices we make every day." An old man was traveling with his cart full of goods when suddenly one of its wheels broke. People passing by expected him to be angry or upset, but instead, he laughed. A young man asked why he was smiling despite the trouble. The old man replied, "Getting angry won't fix the cart, but since I must wait, I might as well enjoy the fresh air and the beautiful scenery." His calmness surprised everyone. Soon someone offered help, and they fixed the cart together. The young man realized that a positive attitude could turn any problem into a pleasant experience. An old man lived in a small village with barely any money, yet he was always happy. One day, a wealthy traveler asked him how he stayed so cheerful despite his poverty. The old man smiled and said, "Money can buy comfort, but not happiness. I have a peaceful heart, kind friends, and a loving family. What more do I need?" The traveler was surprised, realizing that true happiness wasn't about wealth, but contentment. As he left, he couldn't stop thinking about the old man's words, and understood that joy comes not from riches, but from appreciating life's simple blessings. An old fisherman sat by the shore, peacefully enjoying the sea breeze. A wealthy businessman approached him and asked why he wasn't working harder to catch more fish and earn more money. The fisherman smiled and asked, "What would I do with more money?" The businessman replied, "You could buy a bigger boat, catch more fish, and eventually retire comfortably." The old man chuckled and said, "But I already live comfortably. I fish just enough, spend time with my family, and enjoy life every day." The businessman walked away, realizing that true happiness isn't in wealth, but in contentment. A terrible storm hit the village with strong winds and heavy rain. People ran for shelter, frightened by the thunder and lightning. But an old man sat calmly outside his small hut, smiling. A young boy ran to him and asked, "Aren't you afraid?" The old man chuckled and said, "Storms don't last forever. Just like troubles in life, they come and go. Why waste time worrying?" The boy watched as the storm eventually passed, leaving behind a clear sky. He realized that the old man was right. Peace comes not from avoiding storms, but from learning to face them calmly. A poor farmer woke up one morning to find that his only cow had run away. His neighbors pitied him, but he simply smiled and said, "Maybe it's a blessing." They were confused, believing he had lost everything. A week later, the cow returned, bringing a herd of wild cattle with it. The farmer now had more cows than before. His neighbors were amazed and asked how he stayed so calm. He replied, "Life is full of surprises. What seems bad today may turn into something good tomorrow. That's why I always trust that everything happens for a reason." A young boy asked his grandfather how he remained happy all the time. The old man smiled and handed him a mirror. "What do you see?" he asked. The boy replied, "My reflection." The grandfather nodded and said, "Happiness is like this mirror. It comes from within. If you smile, the world smiles back." The boy thought for a moment and then grinned. Seeing his own reflection smile, he understood the lesson. From that day on, he chose to be happy, realizing that joy wasn't found in the outside world, but in his own heart and the way he saw life. An old man sat under a large tree, watching children play. A curious boy asked, "Grandfather, how do you stay happy no matter what happens?" The old man pointed to the tree and said, "See how it stands tall through storms, winds, and rain? Its branches may shake, but its roots remain strong. Happiness is like that. If your heart is strong, troubles may shake you, but they can never break you. The boy looked at the tree and smiled, understanding that true happiness doesn't depend on circumstances, but on inner strength and the ability to stay calm in life's storms. An old man lay in a hospital bed, suffering from a serious illness, yet he laughed every day. A nurse asked, "How can you be so happy when you are unwell?" He smiled and said, "I may not control my illness, but I can control my attitude. Worrying won't heal me, but laughter brings me joy." The nurse was touched by his words. Days passed, and his cheerful spirit spread to everyone around him. Even in pain, he chose happiness, proving that true joy comes not from perfect health or circumstances, but from a positive heart that refuses to be defeated. On his deathbed, the old man called his grandson close and whispered, "Life will challenge you in many ways. People may hurt you, and circumstances may test your patience. But remember this: happiness is always within your control." The grandson tearfully asked how he could stay happy in difficult times. The old man smiled faintly and said, "Choose happiness, no matter what. You'll find it in the small moments, in kindness, in love. Never let anyone take it from you, for it is yours to keep." With those final words, the old man passed, leaving a legacy of wisdom and joy.